Welcome to the Shreveport Connection with Tommy. This video is on your Raw results and WWE main event. Okay, you got birthdays. Disco Inferno turned 51 years old. Electra, aka Donna Adamo, turned 48 years old. The late Matt Capitelli was born on November 12, 1979. He died at the age of 38 following a battle with brain cancer on June 29, 2018. Billy Gunn, real name Monty Kip Sop, turned 56 years old on Sunday. That was the 11th. Van Hammer, real name Mark Hildreth, turned 51 on Sunday. Leo Rush, real name Lionel Green, turned 24 on Sunday. Cowboy Bob Orton Jr. turned 68 on Saturday. Josh Barnett, New Japan Pro Wrestling announcer, turned 41 years old on Saturday. He's also a ProWrestling.net reporter. Katrina Waters, who played Katie Lee Burchill, turned 38 on Saturday. And she's also going under her Katrina name on Impact Wrestling. Ryback, real name Ryan Reeves, turned 37 on Saturday. Peyton Royce, real name of Cassie McIntosh, turned 26 on Saturday. Advertised Dark main event matches listed on the Arena website. For Raw were Seth Rollins versus Dean Ambrose for the Intercontinental Championship and Braun Strowman versus Baron Corbin. Unknown if they it's like on SmackDown. I didn't get the results. I haven't seen anything posted for the Dark match main events. Being the Elite, episode 125 can be found at this link. Cody Rhodes can't stop spouting WWE facts. Flip Gordon wants those brass rings. James Ellsworth trying to find the locker room and asks Trevor and Arthur where it is. Arthur is super rude to Ellsworth and tells him where the broom closet is located. Adam Page is nervously watching on 3 screens. Cody reading the note from H and holding it up old Stardust outfit. Page is starting to piece things together about these notes. SCU does their worst town bit. In Columbus, Ohio, Daniels vents to Frankie and Scorpio about Flip Gordon previously saying Daniels wasn't SCU because he's from Michigan, and it just throws everything off. Marty Scurll catches up about the group's scheduled and after the Jericho cruise. Scurll said he had 5 matches on the ship and had only a day off before getting to his next wrestling event. Young Bucks are in Columbus, Ohio, with Flip Gordon suddenly behind them, filming his own show. They wonder what he's doing, and he says he's grabbing those brass rings. Young Bucks aren't impressed and says he's still not on the show. Flip super kicks both of them, along with Shark Boy, who just randomly shows up. Yeah, Shark Boy is formerly in Impact Wrestling. Young Bucks mention how they are currently on a 21-day tour and will be home for 2 days during it. They start to talk about not being in the Bullet Club, and Cody, in a monotone voice, is rambling on in a corner about SmackDown and its ratings. SCU is in the locker room, and as the camera pans to Cody, again facing the corner, holding his IWGP US Championship in one hand, while the other is shaking uncontrollably. Page comes out of the restroom and hears a ticking clock. Gordon walks by and says, "Oh, you got one too." Mine says 2 years. Page responds, "Everybody knows we're staying anyway," and tosses the phone in the trash, stops, and realizes he needs his phone. In Queens, New York, Young Bucks bump into Kenny Omega, who looks pretty tired after filming on the Jericho cruise. Then heading to Japan for a New Japan Pro Wrestling show, back to New York for a match against Phoenix, and then a fan signing. Omega jokes about there being confusion about the group not being in Bullet Club anymore. Young Bucks congratulate him, #1 this year, in PWI 500. Omega then complains about his shoulder still hurting after Skrull locked in a crossface chicken wing. The two had a water slide contest. Omega won. Skrull was grumpy about it. Scorpio is holding his hands with a woman as they walk back to his hotel room after a date. He says the only way to end things is with a big kiss. Matt Jackson shows up with a giant Hershey's chocolate kiss. Scorpio has some of it. Paige talks to Matt about sticking together as a group, but is worried about Kenny and Cody. Down the hall, Brandy Rhodes yells for them to help as Cody is doing the corner handshake thing again. They rush over and he turns around with completely white eyes and he mindlessly spouts off some more WWE facts. The group has no idea what to do. And here's some results from day 2 of New Japan Pro Wrestling's Lion Breaks Project 1. ACH defeated Carl Fredericks. Jushin Thunder Liger defeated Clark Connors. Ryosuke Taguchi and Jeff Cobb defeated Rocky Romero and Haruki Goto. Kenny Omega defeated David Finlay. Chad, hashtag the Chaos Column, at Chaos in Order 626, main event for day 2 of hashtag NJPW at Lions Break. The Cleaner Kenny Omega versus David Finlay at SoCal Uncensored. For those who could use a laugh, well, like what Matt Jackson shared on his Twitter of a photo from a fan signing. If you're wondering why Nick Jackson is frowning, well, he hates being the Luigi of the Young Bucks, a reoccurring joke from being the Elite Series. Earlier in the day, Cody tweeted about that during last night's Ring of Honor New Japan Pro Wrestling Global Wars event in Buffalo. He heard a pop in his knee while teasing a t-shirt tossed in the crowd. At that point, he was hoping it wasn't anything major and could still defend the IWGP US Championship against Beretta at the event Global Wars later in the week in Toronto. Well, at Cody Rhodes, going from one side of the crowd to the other last night, teasing a t-shirt cross, of all things, heard a loud pop in my knee. Terrifying. Hoping it was just a little meniscus, and Sunday I could still deliver. Unfortunately, Rhodes provided an update, and he's now off the card, so we can get an MRI this week to see what the issue is with his knee. He did say that he will be at the pre-show meet and greet to say hello to the fans. Any comments on Twitter? Sadly, folks, I will not be able to wrestle tomorrow in Toronto. I will still be at the pre-show meet and greet to say hello to everybody. Ring of Honor and I will find a suitable replacement for the match. I am extremely sorry. I'll be able to confirm the extent of the issue after an MRI this week. Earlier this month, on an episode of Talk is Jericho with the Young Bucks, Adam Page, Cody Rhodes, Marty Scurll, and Kenny Omega, it was confirmed that Matt Jackson that the Elite are no longer part of the Bullet Club. Rhodes' contract with Ring of Honor was reportedly up after his dates on the Jericho Cruise, but he planned on working with the company until the end of the year. The results came in today, and it looks like Rhodes sustained a large meniscus tear that will require arthroscopic surgery later this week, according to F4W Online, but it may be put off even further. Rhodes also tweeted out that the good news was his MCL, PCL, and ACL were all strictly sound, avoiding a more serious injury. At Cody Rhodes, good news is my doctor is fairly confident that my MCL, PCL, ACL are strictly sound. Bad news is the meniscus is fairly damaged. Going to require a scope. No dates will be adjusted at the moment. And I'll definitely still compete in the Final Battle main event at WK. The IWGP US Champion also noted his upcoming dates will remain the same, and he will still compete at Ring of Honor Final Battle on December 14th in New York City, as well as Wrestle Kingdom 13 on January 4th in Tokyo, Japan. And that will probably be dropping the title there and heading to WWE. They're planning to get the surgery in January after the big shows are finished up, and then possibly headed to WWE under the Stardust character, I guess. This week's NCIS Los Angeles episode featured a special guest star, and that was on Sunday night. Former WWE wrestler Bill Goldberg, also WCW champion, stopped by to join LL Cool J and Chris O'Donnell to find an arms dealer's murderer. In One of Us episode, what it's called, an arms dealer named Rick Dotson was found dead in Malibu. He was on the NCIS radar for years, but no one could catch him. Hannah, LL Cool J, suggested one of Rick's rivals killed him. Mysteriously, Rick was not found with a security detail. The only person found at the scene was his girlfriend, Karen, and there were no surveillance footage of the crime. In another preview scene, Hannah and Callan, character Chris O'Donnell, look over Rick's home. Bill from Barrett Foa did find some cameras working during the night of the murder, which confirmed that the killer hid in the backyard. He also arrived at the home swimming, proving that the killer had some elite forces training. One of Us also sees Callan visiting ATF agent Anna Kolchak, played by Bar Pally, who was still in prison, awaiting sentencing. During the investigation, Lance Hamilton shows up to help. The character is played by Bill Goldberg, a former WWE and WCW wrestler and a member of the WWE Hall of Fame, a former football player for the Atlanta Falcons, and he has acted in several movies and TV shows. Last year, he had a guest role in ABC's The Goldbergs. He also co-hosted History's Forge and Fire, Knife or Death, a reality competition series now in its second season. This week's episode picks up after the action in last week's Asinos, I guess that's how you pronounce it. The NCIS team believed Mosley, played by Nia Long, was going to betray them by giving their identities to a Mexican cartel in exchange for getting her and her son off of a hit list. Mosley later revealed it was all schemed to get the two cartels to fight against each other instead of focusing on trying to kill her. While Mosley got away, Asinos had a happy ending. Special prospector John Rogers, played by Peter Jacobson, completed his investigation into the team's off-the-books Mexico mission to save Mosley's son at the end of last season. Thanks to the limited testimony from the team, Rogers could only conclude that Mosley ordered the team to Mexico and was fully responsible for it. Therefore, Rogers could not find reason to disband the NCIS Los Angeles team. This season of NCIS Los Angeles has focused on the fallout from last season's Mexico mission, which led to the death of Hidoko, played by Andrea Bardot, and ended with Deeks, played by Eric Christian Olsen, proposing to Kinsey, played by Daniela Ruoff. Hedy Lang, played by Linda Hunt, has also been missing from the show, but she surprisingly called Callan at the end of the hit list episode, telling him that they needed to forget about her and focus on their own safety. New episodes of NCIS Los Angeles air at 9 p.m. Eastern Time on CBS. This week's episode aired at 9:30 Eastern Time because of the football coverage. Is Nikki Bella getting cozy with ex-Dolph Ziggler? Professional wrestler and Total Diva star snapped a quick video of her and Ziggler together on her Instagram story Sunday night, prompting fans to wonder if something is brewing with the exes again. In the video, Bella sits closely next to Ziggler, who is currently dating WWE star Dana Brooke, on an airplane while the two traveled with a group of other WWE athletes for multiple events around England. En route Manchester, LOL. Bella captioned the video, which panned to Ziggler, who raised his eyebrows and made a series of funny faces as Bella sipped on some red wine. Before Bella called off her engagement to John Cena twice, she and Ziggler were in a serious relationship. Ziggler even created drama during her relationship with Cena when he confessed during an episode of Total Divas that he still had feelings for her. He also promised he would be willing to marry her and give her children, something Cena famously said he never wanted until recently. I can give you kids. I can give you a husband, he said during season 5 episode. He even leaned in for a kiss, which quickly prompted a slap in the face from Bella. Despite the fact from Ziggler, whose real name is Nicholas Nemeth, has remained quiet on the Bella Cena front as of late, that isn't stopping fans from speculating based on Bella's latest video. Even former WWE superstar JTG brought up Ziggler's name when asked by TMZ who he thought would make a move on Bella now that she's officially single again. Out of respect for John, I don't think any wrestlers would make a move on Bella, he said. The only person that I could think about is a Rex, maybe Dolph. But Bella told People last month that she's not ready to start dating again. She and Cena dated for years before becoming engaged at WrestleMania in April 2017, which was followed by more than dramatic engagement. It feels like, when you get married and the next day people are like, when you are having kids, or when are you having kids? It's like, I just got married. I feel like it's the same thing. When you become single, it's like, oh, are you dating? She told the magazine at WWE Evolution, honestly, I'm so not interested. I'm just not ready yet. I'm trying to heal, and I'm not healed yet, she added. But her sister Brie, Bella, admitted that she wants her sister to move on. I did set her up on a blind date, as Brie admitted. You'll see it on Total Divas, but I got in a lot of trouble. Bella told Cosmopolitan that she broke off her engagement with Cena because she realized that she had lost herself throughout their 5-year relationship. I lost for so many years, she said. That was my fault. I'm the one who forgot about me. I have realized now, to truly have a happy life, you have to give yourself so much love first and work on you in a way you can. While she didn't mention Cena by name, she did say she hopes speculation about them dies down soon. We both are at the point that we just don't want to be talked about at all together anymore, she said. We don't want our breakup to define us or interfere with our work. And that was happening for a while. And she also speak in a sneak peek of the upcoming season of Total Bellas. Bella's twin sister Brie set Nikki up on a date. Though Nikki herself doesn't seem all that excited about the idea. And you can see it in this link. And guess who is on the date? Nicole gave me permission to set up her on a date. Brie tells the twins' mom, Kathy Kalas, who shares Brie's enthusiasm for the plan. I feel like I'm 15, Nikki says before Brie FaceTimes Cross, adding in a voiceover, I don't know if I'm ready for this. Cross is formerly of The Bachelor fame. Despite her hesitation, Nikki goes on the date, with a clip sharing a shot of the pair on a gondola. Later, as Nikki holds a glass of wine, Cross leans in for a kiss, though the camera cuts away before finding out if he's successful. Cross competed on Rachel Lindsay's season of The Bachelorette in 2017, which ended up in a second place spot. He was the fan favorite pick to become the next Bachelor, but reportedly wasn't really interested in the role. In October, Nikki told People that she wasn't quite ready to dip her toes into the dating pool just yet. It feels like, when you get married and the next day people are like, when are you having kids? It's like, I just got married. Feels like the same thing. When you become single, it's like, oh, are you dating? She said. Honestly, I'm so not interested. I'm just not ready yet. again. Earlier this month, a source echoed Nikki's comments, telling people that the 34-year-old is not even thinking about dating right now. But those two scenes, like I said, on Total Divas and Total Bellas. She's been so busy working and spending time with her friends and family, it's not a priority, the source said. That being said, if the right guy were to come around, she's not opposed to it. Nikki has seen a split once before reconciling, though Nikki ultimately decided to call off their planned wedding and is now focusing on herself. I had a beautiful and loving 6-year relationship with a wonderful man, she told people. I have the utmost respect for John, but I know this is what's best for me. As for her 2019 plans, Nikki didn't seem to have dating on the brain, telling E! News that she hopes to conquer more vineyards, boardrooms, and the fashion industry. Indian actress and reality TV star show Rocky Sawant shot an angle with former Impact Wrestling knockout Rebel at an event for the Great Khali's promotion, Continental Wrestling Entertainment. This past weekend, at this link, Sawant had a dance-off with Rebel, which resulted in Rebel delivering a very carefully executed body slam, as seen in that link. Sawant recently made some serious accusations against Bollywood actress Tanea Duda, or Dada, however you pronounce her name, who she claims had drugged and raped her 12 years ago. Sawant used her rape accusation in her angle with Rebel, claiming that Dada had paid Rebel to injure her, and can be found at this link. She is Rebel who has intentionally harmed me, Sawant wrote on Instagram. She took money from Tanea Duda and tried to injure my back so that I can never dance again or entertain my fans. My dear, lovely fans from India, America, and Pearl world, I request you to stand with me and let's fight back with those British people. I am sharing her account. Please help me. Sawant was carried out of the ring and was escorted from the event in a wheelchair. Several media outlets in India have reported on the angle, if it were real, noting that she is in stable condition, and that can be found on this link. Rebel also commented on the incident on her Instagram, writing that she made headlines again, as seen at this link on her Instagram account. You see for yourself. WWE take the matches from Kansas City for this week's main event episode. Dana Brooke defeated Alicia Fox. Dana won after a back-and-forth roll-up exchange. Apollo Crews and Tyler Breeze defeated Kurt Hawkins and Zack Ryder. Crews hit a gorilla press, slam into a standing moonsault for the win. Thanks to Colton Cone, who passed the news. SmackDown Commissioner Shane McMahon took to Twitter after Raw and wrote the following to taunt his sister, Stephanie McMahon. Hey, Steph, you're welcome for the help. We just made hashtag Raw better. Hashtag SD Live. Women rule. $23.55. Raw begins with a video package for Veterans Day. Survivor Series Go Home show from Raw opens up live from the Sprint Center in Kansas City, Missouri. It's Fan Chant USA. Michael Coleslaw welcomes us to the show. He's joined in by Corey Graves and Renee Young. Tag Team Battle Royal starts off the show. Go right to the ring of Raw Tag Team Division. Already out for the Battle Royal. The winners will be the team captains for the Survivor Series match with tag teams on Sunday. The action immediately starts as the tag teams go at it. Lucha House Party has all three members in, and they triple team Chad Gable. Dash Wilder goes at it with Kalisto. The action continues until the music of Braun Strowman interrupts, and out he comes to a pop. Connor meets Strowman at ringside, but he's dropped, as does Victor. Strowman approaches the ring and takes out Lucha House Party as they fly at him. Bobby Roode is taken out next. Strowman in his ring and continues to drop bodies. A bunch of superstars gang up on him, but he pushes them off. Strowman with a corner slashes to Scott Dawson and Dash Wilder. Strowman stands tall and yells out for a big pop. Strowman takes out Gable, Curtis Axel, and Dawson with big shoulders on the floor as he runs around the ring. Strowman brings a steel chair in the ring. Heath Slater, Rude, Wilder all retreat. Strowman walks around the ring to another pop from the crowd and demands a microphone. Strowman says Raw is brought to us by the monster among men tonight. He takes a seat in the middle of the ring and says he's done chasing Raw General Manager Baron Corbin around. The constipated one. Yep, Triple C. Constable Corbin. As Strowman says he's not leaving the ring until Corbin gets his hands, the music interrupts. Out comes Raw Commissioner Stephanie McMahon. Stephanie understands Braun is upset over what Corbin did to him at WWE Crown Jewel, and he has the right to be, but he can't hold Raw hostage. Fans boo Stephanie, and as a yes he can chant brings up from the crowd, briefly starts up. Stephanie appreciates the rage and aggression, but she needs him to control it to something more important. Survivor Series. She says her brother disrespected all of Raw when he stole the World Cup tournament win. She asks if he's going to let her brother disrespect him and the entire locker room. Braun says he doesn't give a damn about Shane or fighting for Stephanie at Survivor Series. Stephanie books back at Braun in his face and says Braun better start giving a damn. Everyone in the back better start giving a damn too. Braun says he knows how Stephanie and the other corporate look at him, but he's tired of talking. She needs to bring her lapdog, Corbin, out so they can get this over. Stephanie says she doesn't underestimate Braun, and she wants a business opportunity for him. Stephanie says Braun can have anything he wants if Raw wins at the Survivor Series. Her word is her bond. Fans boo that line, as it's obviously not true. Strowman only wants another WWE Universal title shot against Brock Lesnar. Stephanie says it's done. But before that, Strowman wants Corbin. Fans pop, and Stephanie says it's done. Strowman wants to pick the stipulation. Stephanie says done. Strowman tells Stephanie to make sure Corbin signs a waiver so he's not responsible for the damages. Stephanie says that might take some more time, and she needs to run it by lawyers, but she thinks she can get it done. But there's one condition. Strowman doesn't lay a finger on Corbin until after Survivor Series, so he can prove he's a team player. He can have whatever he wants after Survivor Series. Strowman says he will go to WWE headquarters and destroy the whole building if he doesn't get what he's promised. Stephanie goes on about how she's here to motivate the entire Raw roster, but the music interrupts and out comes Raw Women's Champion Ronda Rousey. Stephanie introduces Rousey, but Rousey snatches the mic from her hand. Rousey says Stephanie can save the pep talk because nothing can motivate her more than she already is. She's been waiting for a challenge like the man, SmackDown Women's Champion Becky Lynch, and she's tired of hearing about her arm getting snatched. Rousey can't wait to show Becky how it's done. Fan chant for Becky. Rousey says maybe she won't have to wait. She drops the mic and turns her attention to Stephanie. Staring her down, Stephanie looks terrified. The music interrupts. Out comes the constipated one. He agrees with Stephanie that they need to channel their energy to Survivor Series. Corbin is also here to help motivate the Raw roster. Corbin cautiously enters the ring as Strowman stares him down. Fan check, get these hands now. Corbin says Raw can't afford to get embarrassed again, as this is a must-win situation. Corbin places his hand on Rousey's arm and tries to talk her down, but Rousey immediately tosses him to the mat. Rousey marches up the ramp as Corbin watches. Corbin turns around to Strowman in his face. Stephanie gets in between them as they argue. Stephanie tells Corbin to shut up and reminds Strowman of their deal. Strowman tells Corbin to enjoy being Stephanie's lapdog because he's going to neuter him after Survivor Series. Corbin leaves the ring as Strowman looks on from the ring while his music hits. Stephanie backs Corbin up the ramp as fans pop for Strowman. So to come segment, the Beast is here. Also, Graves' interview with WWE Intercontinental Champion Seth Rollins. We see Nia Jax and Tamina Snuka backstage walking. They yell at some random people to move out of the way. Snuka versus Ember Moon was next. Back from the break, out comes Ember Moon as JoJo does ring introductions. Tamina Snuka's out next with Nia Jax. We see replays for last week's double team attack on Moon. The bell rings and Snuka starts dominating. Moon counters and tries to mount offense, but Snuka overpowers and shuts her down. Moon finally brings Snuka to one knee with an enziguri. She charges and drops Snuka with a strike for a 2 count. Moon keeps control as Snuka gets sent out to the floor. Moon with a sliding kick from the apron. We see team captain Alexa Bliss backstage watching the match. Moon goes to the floor, but Jax comes over and taunts her for the distraction. Moon turns around to Snuka running her over. We go to commercial with Moon gasping for air at ringside. Back for the break, and Snuka has Moon grounded in the middle of the ring. Snuka keeps control and shuts Moon down for another 2 count. Moon and Snuka trade shots out of the corner, and we see Bliss backstage watching again. Moon slides out of a move and drop kicks Snuka to bring her back down. Moon with more strikes and a kick that barely connects. Snuka drops Moon with a big right hand. Moon ducks a clothesline and tries to nail a suicide dive on Jax, but it does nothing to Jax. No sell. Moon kicks her way back into the ring and hits a crossbody on Snuka for a 2 count. Moon screams out and barely connects with a move in the corner. Moon gets to the top for the Eclipse, but Jax provides a distraction, allowing Snuka to super kick her and drop her on the top. Snuka keeps control and goes up top for the big Snuka splash to get the pinfall. After the match, Jax and Snuka stand tall over Moon as the music plays. Jax then decks Moon and then runs ropes for the big leg drop. Snuka and Jax raise their arms in the air as fans boo them. They leave as Jax music starts up. So to come segment, Elias versus Bobby Lashley for the Survivor Series team spot. Also, Bliss announces the women's Team Raw and Graves talks to Rollins. Back to commercial. Back from the break, we see players from the NFL's Kansas City Chiefs at ringside. The announcers lead us to a video package showing what happened with Dean Ambrose and Intercontinental Champion Seth Rollins from last week, including the Authors of Pain winning the Raw Tag Team Champions from Rollins in the handicap match. We go to the ring and Corey Graves has a mic. He brings out Rollins for another interview. Graves brings up Sunday's match with the U.S. Champion Shinsuke Nakamura. Rollins hypes the match. Graves says if Rollins' head isn't in the game, Nakamura will take it off. Rollins says he will be laser focused and ready to perform at Survivor Series, but that's Sunday, and this is tonight. And tonight in Kansas City, he wants answers. Rollins wants to know why Ambrose did what he did to he and Roman Reigns. Graves says they've known Ambrose for a long time, and he's not good with words. Rollins says Ambrose isn't stupid and knows exactly what he did, why he did what he did. He's just not man enough to come out and tell him. Ambrose appears on the big screen, and Graves points Rollins to him. Ambrose is sitting outside of the arena on the hood of a red car. There's a fire barrel next to him. Ambrose says he's man enough to come and beat Rollins up, but he's not going to do that because the people don't deserve it. Ambrose doesn't owe Rollins or the people any explanation. He doesn't owe anything to anyone. Ambrose mocks Rollins and says the architect doesn't have all the answers this time. He wonders if Rollins was just too selfish and self-absorbed to see what was going on around him. Ambrose says maybe he regrets what he did. Maybe he's remorseful. Maybe he hopes he can be back with his boys one day, but no, that's not it and not happening. Ambrose used to think the Shield was stronger together, but he knows the truth is that the Shield made him weak. Rollins made him weak. Ambrose says he's burning it down. He douses his Shield vest in gasoline and throws it into the barrel to burn as Rollins watches. But if it was actually real gas, it would have did the big poof and light on fire. It just went in there and was basically melting. Rollins gets upset and storms out of the ring. So, probably kerosene instead of actually gasoline. Renee and Cole hyped Nakamura versus Rollins. Still to come segment. A look at last week's Drew McIntyre versus Kurt Angle match. Back to the break. Announcers hype WrestleMania 35 tickets as they go on sale on Tuesday. after a promo, announces lead us to a video package of Drew McIntyre's win over Hall of Famer Kurt Angle from last week's Raw. We go to the ring and the music of Kurt Angle hits. Dolph Ziggler comes out instead. As his music interrupts, Drew McIntyre is out next, and they head to the ring together. McIntyre said he told us he was taking over when he came back. Do we believe him now? Drew goes on about last week's win over Angle and says Angle was just an embarrassment when he was done with him. Drew talks about how Angle started crying towards the end of the match. Drew says he has never been more disgusted in his entire life. He is more than happy to humiliate Angle and put him down with his own ankle lock. Drew has worked for 18 long years to earn this moment right now, going through the highest highs and the lowest lows, sacrificing more than the average person. Drew tells us to look in his eyes. He declares that Raw is his show and belongs to him now. He will mold it in his image. What does he think he is? God? There is no more room for weakness. Drew will not allow any more nostalgia acts, and music interrupts. Out comes Finn Balor as he makes his way out. Drew says Balor has a lot of nerve coming out here after what he did to him. Balor says he couldn't just sit here and listen to Drew talk that way about Angle. It was too much. Balor says Drew crossed the line last week. He could have just defeated Angle. Drew interrupts and says he could have done much more worse to Angle, but that's not why Balor is out here. Balor thought Drew was coming to save him last week, but he kicked his head off instead. That's why Balor is out here. Drew goes on about how Balor and too many other new superstars are worried about their feelings these days. Drew tells Balor to march up the ramp and go whine to his Balor Club. Balor interrupts and tells Drew to shut up. He's been dealing with people like Drew all of his life. Balor challenges Drew to a fight, and fans cheer for it. Drew doesn't know what's more fragile, Balor's feelings or his body. Drew accepts the challenge, but says it will be with Ziggler. Drew says maybe he will consider lowering himself to Balor's level if he can get the win over Ziggler. They stare each other down, and Drew drops Balor with a cheap shot. We go to commercial. So we get Dolph versus Finn. We have a dolphin match. You get it? Pun. Dolph. Finn. Back from the break, the bell rings as Dolph Ziggler rocks Finn into a corner and unloads. Ziggler keeps Balor grounded in the middle of the ring. Ziggler drops a big elbow on Balor for a 2 count. Ziggler goes back to the mat and keeps Balor down. As Drew looks on, Balor makes it to the bottom rope to break the hold. Ziggler nails a drop kick and drops Balor again with a right hand. Ziggler keeps Balor grounded with another submission in the middle of the ring. Balor fights up and tries to break free, but Ziggler hits the knee. Balor fights out of an opposite corner, but Ziggler rolls him up. Balor rolls through and hits a basement drop kick to the face. Balor misses in the corner, and Ziggler rolls him up for a 2 count. They trade a few more counters and pin attempts. Balor drops Ziggler with an insecurity. More back and forth between the two. We go to commercial after another close call as McIntyre looks on. Back from the break, and Ziggler talks trash. Ziggler with a neck breaker. Balor tries to gain momentum, but Ziggler kicks him again. Ziggler with an elbow as McIntyre yells at him that they can't afford a loss. Ziggler with a back elbow, but Balor connects with an overhead kick, and they both go down. Balor mounts offense. Balor nails a stomp to the chest for a close 2 count as McIntyre looks worried at ringside. Balor waits for Ziggler and nails a suicide. Nails a sling blade. Balor cuts off the offense and drops Balor for a 2 count with a knee to the face and a big DDT. Ziggler connects with a knee and then a famouser for another 2 count. Drew looks to talk trash from ringside, but Balor still blocks a zigzag and nails a corner drop kick to Ziggler. Balor finally gets some momentum going. McIntyre tries to interfere again, but it backfires. Balor sends Ziggler out next to Drew. Balor runs the ropes and nails a big dive, taking them both out at ringside. Balor goes to the top for the coup de grace, but he's forced to land on his feet as Ziggler moved. Balor sells a leg injury and gets a pin after they trade roll-ups. Winner of the match, Finn Balor. So he gets his match against Drew. Balor celebrates, heads up the ramp as Drew looks on, disgusted from the ring. Still to come segment, Alexa Bliss announces the women's Team Raw. Also, WWE Universal Champion is here. Back to commercial. Back from the break, Finn Balor is backstage when Baron Corbin and Stephanie McMahon approach. Stephanie congratulates Balor for standing up for what he believes. She gives him a spot on Team Raw at Survivor Series. Corbin says he wants to discuss this elsewhere with Stephanie. Drew McIntyre and Dolph Ziggler walk up, looking for a fight with Balor. Stephanie backs him off and says she's heard Drew's speech out there in the ring, but Raw is her show. She goes on trying to get them on the same page for Sunday, but says after Survivor Series, they can feel free to tear each other apart. We'll get a look at Tuesday's promo from SmackDown's Women's Champion, Becky Lynch. Charlie Cruz is backstage with Raw Women's Champion Ronda Rousey for a response. Rousey once again knocks Becky for her pre-wrestling jobs and says she's not just a man, she's the millennial man. Rousey goes on knocking Becky for her emotions and her talk. Ronda is confident about Sunday's match and also knocks Becky for calling herself the man when she's one of the leaders of the Evolution. Nia Jax appears on one side of Rousey and Tamina Snuka appears on the other. They just want to wish Rousey good luck for Survivor Series as they walk off. Natalya versus Ruby Riott was up next. We go to ring. Out comes the Riott Squad. Ruby Riott with Sarah Logan and Liv Morgan. Back to commercial. Back from the break, Ruby has a mic in the ring. She wants to apologize for last week's actions. But first, she shows us what happened with the breaking of the glasses once owned by Jim the Anvil Neidhart. Supposedly, Riott goes on about the backlash she's received. She praises Neidhart and talks about what he was to the business. Riott is acting like she's crying as the boos start up. Riott says she humiliated Natalya on worldwide TV and she enjoyed every bit of it. Ruby changes her tune now and says she didn't take it far enough last week. Riott Squad has had to fight for everything they've got in WWE, and last week she wanted Natalya to feel raw emotion. Riott goes on and says Anvil wore those glasses because he was ashamed to look at his own daughter. The music interrupts. Out comes Natalya. Riott waits for the fight, but Natalya comes in the ring from behind and beats her down. Liv hits the ring, but Natalya drops her. Logan comes in, and the numbers game catches up as they triple team her. Logan lifts Natalya and holds her as Riott runs the ropes for the heart attack move made famous by Anvil and WWE Hall of Famer Bret Hart. Riott Squad stands tall over Natalya as the boos continue. And now to hype the card for Sunday's Survivor Series pay-per-view. And you get the Tag Team Battle Royal rematch. That started off the show. We go to the ring. Out comes the team of Chad Gable, Bobby Roode. This is a redo of the opener that was rigged by Braun Strowman. The winners will be team captains for the 5-on-5 traditional elimination match with tag teams at Survivor Series. Back to commercial. We go to the ring. Out comes the team of Chad Gable and Bobby Roode. This is a redo of tonight's opener. Back from the break, and the other teams are going at it. We get the bell. Heath Slater works on Scott Dawson and kicks Dash Wilder away. Dawson eliminates Slater after Slater gets hung up on the top rope. So their team has been eliminated. Lucha House Party goes at it with the Revival. Victor works on Rude, and Connor joins in. Lince Dorado for the Luchadors almost dumps Dawson as he hangs on. The Revival is eliminated as Dawson gets sent to the floor. Lucha House Party tosses Dash out next. They do their pose and taunt, but the Ascension attacks them. Connor fights off all three members and eliminates Kalisto, so the Lucha House Party has been eliminated. Bo Dallas and Kurt Axel are eliminated by the Ascension. Victor and Chad Gable go at it. Rude joins in for the big double team. Connor tries to eliminate Gable, but Gable applies an armbar on the top rope. Rude cuts from behind and eliminates Connor for the win. So Bobby Roode and Chad Gable are your team captains. After the match, Gable and Rude celebrate the win as Rude music hits. Paul Heyman's backstage. We go to commercial. Back from the break. Out comes Paul Heyman with his normal stick. And also following, Brock Lesnar came out. Heyman goes on praising Lesnar and says he's the only one who deserves congratulations but he will give others tonight, Braun Strowman, for getting himself back in the title picture and for taking so many F5s to the SmackDown roster for avoiding the beating the WWE Champion will get at Survivor Series and to AJ Styles. Fans are chanting for AJ. Heyman rants and mentions last year's Styles versus Lesnar match. Heyman says AJ will check into Hotel California, fly up to the penthouse marked Suplex City, and take the beating of a lifetime. Heyman goes on, but the music interrupts as Jinder Mahal comes out with the Singh brothers. This was the boring segment. Like he's challenging for a title match himself. Jinder takes the mic and gives Heyman some advice. Do not underestimate Styles. Jinder says last year at Survivor Series he was focused on getting the match with Lesnar, but AJ stole the title and the match from him. Jinder says he's here to offer his services to help Lesnar focus on AJ. Jinder says he can show the Beast his mantra. Heyman mocks Jinder and Lesnar smiles. Jinder says he can help Brock. Lesnar tells him to come on in the ring. Lesnar laughs as Jinder hits the apron. Jinder tries to show Brock how to center his energy with breathing exercises. Lesnar plays along, but he's had enough. Lesnar levels Jinder with a clothesline, kicks Sunil Singh to the mat, and drops Samir Singh with an F5. Lesnar delivers more F5s to the Singh brothers. Samir gets another. Fan chant for more. Lesnar grabs Sunil again, presses him high. Lesnar launches Sunil out of the ring on top of Jinder at ringside. Lesnar leaves the ring and grabs Jinder, dropping him on the floor with an F5. Lesnar walks away with the title. As his music hits, Lesnar looks back at Jinder and smirks before marching up the ramp. Stephanie Moran backstage talking to Alexa Bliss. Also still to come, Lashley versus Elias for the final Team Raw men's spot. Back to commercial. And that match is up next. Bobby Lashley versus Elias. Back for the ring. Out comes Bobby Lashley with Leo Rush. The match is for the final Team Raw men's spot. They hit the ring, and Lashley does different poses as Rush talks about how good he looks. They go on until Elias' guitar interrupts. Elias is on the stage with a spotlight. He takes shots at Rush and Lashley. Lashley tells him to shut up, calling him a clown, trying to be funny. Lashley tells Elias to come say it in his face. Who does he think he is? Say it to my face? Well, we'll tell you later. Elias had something to tell the whole world. Lashley sucks. Elias walks to the ring and says he's also going to shut Rush up. Elias stops at ringside and plays a tune, asking who wants to walk with Elias. We go to commercial. Back for the break, Lashley has Elias grounded on the mat. Lashley keeps control and stomps on Elias. Elias looks for some momentum, but Lashley rocks him in the corner. Lashley comes back with a big clothesline. Elias unloads in the corner as the referee backs him off. Rush gets on the apron, but Elias knocks him off. Lashley takes advantage and rolls Elias up for a 2 count. Lashley charges, but Elias backdrops him over the top rope to the floor. Elias runs off the apron and nails a knee. Taking Lashley back down to the floor, Elias whips Lashley's shoulder first into the steel ring post as the referee counts. Lashley sends Elias into the steps. Lashley returns to the ring. Elias follows, but Rush comes from under the ring and holds Elias' leg. Lashley wins by count out and gets the final spot on Team Raw. After the match, Lashley celebrates the win as he stands tall. Rush is under the ring with half of his body out when Elias sees him. Elias attacks and Lashley drops Lashley at ringside. As he tries to make the save, Elias brings Rush into the ring, sends him really flying through the air, back out the ring into Lashley's arms. So the segment, Alexa Bliss announces her picks for Raw Women's Team Raw. Back commercial. Back from the break, out comes Team Captain Alexa Bliss with Mickey James, Tamina Snuka, and Nia Jax. So you already know 3 of the members. Bliss says Sunday, it's personal. Survivor Series is personal. She goes on and says she's put together the most dominant Survivor Series team. She says she sent Natalia home because she had an emotional night and told her to channel her energy towards SmackDown on Sunday. She introduces Mickey next, then Jax and Snuka. Bliss mentions she wants to hopefully put her differences with Jax in the past. Regarding the last member, Bliss says she thought long and hard about who will do anything to win, risk anything to win, even friendship. Bliss says Baron Corbin agrees with her, and the winner of this next match will be the 5th team member. Music hits, and out comes Sasha Banks first. Bayley was out next. Sasha versus Bayley. Back from the break, they go at it to start. Back and forth for several minutes. Banks ends up dropping Bayley to the floor with a knee to the face. They go back and forth as Banks nails a double knees from the top for a close 2 count. Bliss and the other members of Team Raw are watching from the match from ringside. Bayley sends Banks to the apron and knocks her off with an elbow. Bayley goes to the floor and tries to hit the drop kick through the turnbuckles, but Banks counters and slams Bayley into the ring post. Banks with knees to the head on the apron now. Banks charges with knees against the post, but Banks moves and her knees hit the post. Bayley rolls Banks up for a close 2 count. Fans rally for the 2 now. Bayley gets up first. Bayley approaches, but Banks sends her back to the apron. Bayley drops Banks over the middle rope. They trade more shots on the apron now. Banks drops Bayley with a knee to the apron. A knee on the apron. Bayley comes right back with a Bayley to belly suplex on the apron. They both fall to the floor as we go back to commercial. Back for the break. Banks catches Bayley in a Banks statement. Bayley goes for the bottom rope, but Tamina interferes for the no contest. After the match, Banks and Bayley are triple teamed by Jax, Snuka, and Mickey. As Bliss takes the mic and introduces the 5th member of Team Raw, Ruby Riott. Out she comes with Liv Morgan and Sarah Logan to celebrate. The camera suddenly cut backstage to the locker room. We hear screaming. The camera goes into the locker room. SmackDown Women's Champion Becky Lynch has the disarmer locked in on Raw Women's Champion Ronda Rousey. Becky talks trash as the officials run in to break it up. They check on Rousey as she clutches her arm. We go back to the ring. Becky Lynch's music hits. The Riott Squad waits in the ring with Bliss, Jax, Snuka, and Mickey. They are all ready for a fight. SmackDown. Sonya Deville, Carmella, Asuka, Naomi, and Charlotte Flair suddenly hit the ring from the crowd wearing their blue SmackDown shirts. And the blue brand women's division brawls with the red brand women's division. Mandy Rose and the Iconics are also out to join the fight. Alicia Fox, Lana, Ember Moon, and others are also out as the brawl continues. Becky is bleeding from the face as she got struck by Nia Jax. Ronda Rousey's music hits, and now she rushes to the ring. Becky retreats from the ring as Rousey runs in to take out SmackDown superstars. Rousey is doing bad as she sells the arm injury. Becky comes back with a steel chair and levels Rousey with it. The brawl between the other superstars continues. Team SmackDown holds the ring as Becky nails Rousey with another chair shot. As the crowd pops, Becky with another chair shot. As fans chant for it, Team SmackDown regroups over the barrier and looks back at the ring as Rousey recovers. She's not happy. We see how Bliss also retreated to safety once the brawl kicked off. Team SmackDown moved up through the crowd as Rousey stared them down. Looking right through Becky. Becky stands tall on the stairs in the crowd. As the music starts off, we go to replays. Becky continues taunting Rousey for the crowd. We go to backstage to Stephanie McMahon and Baron Corbin. Stephanie is furious about the invasion. Corbin doesn't know where security is or how SmackDown got in the building. Stephanie yells at him and says this cannot happen come Sunday. She asks Corbin if he's going to fix things and make sure Raw wins at all costs on Sunday. Corbin says he will find a way. We go back to the ring as they continue arguing. Raw goes off the air with Becky standing tall. And that concludes my Raw results. See you on the video. Thanks again. Peace out. If you don't know, just call me, brothers and sisters. Brother.